The medical bay of the Terran diplomat hummed with sterile efficiency as Joran pressed the regenerative cloth against Queen Vela's shoulder. The wound wasn't deep, a grazing shot from the assassination attempt during the peace negotiations. But the iridescent blue blood seeping through her ceremonial armor had caused panic among her guards. "Your Majesty, this may sting," Joran said, his voice steady despite the 4 Jathiri warriors standing behind him, their plasma spears inches from his spine. Vela's 6 eyes arranged in 2 elegant rows across her angular face fixed on him with an intensity that made his hands tremble. The Jathiri queen was a vision of alien majesty, towering at nearly 8 feet. Her chitinous skin shimmered with patterns that shifted like oil on water, and the crown of bone that grew naturally from her skull marked her as royalty among her kind. Joran dabbed at the wound again, gentle but thorough. Years as a field medic in the Outer Rim, conflicts had taught him that pain was universal, regardless of how many limbs or eyes a being possessed. Queen Vela's breathing, a soft clicking sound from the respiratory slits along her neck, quickened. Her 4-fingered hand shot out with startling speed, wrapping around Joran's wrist. Her grip was firm but not painful, her skin surprisingly warm against his. "Do that once more," she commanded, her voice carrying the harmonic undertones that made Jathiri speech sound like music. Joran froze. Behind him, he heard the subtle shift of the guards' weapons. One wrong move, and he'd be vapor before he hit the ground. "Your Majesty?" he asked carefully. Vela's primary eyes, the larger pair, narrowed. The circular motion. With pressure. "Do it again." Confused but compliant, Joran pressed the cloth against her shoulder and moved in small, careful circles, applying gentle pressure as he cleaned the wound. It was basic field medicine, taught to every human medic. Circular motions helped stimulate blood flow and prevented tissue damage. The queen's grip on his wrist loosened. A sound emerged from deep in her chest, something between a purr and a resonant hum. Her warriors exchanged startled glances, their weapons lowering slightly. "Extraordinary," Vela murmured, her smaller eyes closing while the primary pair remained locked on Joran's face. "In 300 cycles, no physician in the Jathiri Empire has ever." "What is this technique? What is this technique? What is this technique?" "It's just basic wound care, Your Majesty," Joran explained, growing more confident as her posture relaxed. "We call it therapeutic touch. The circular pressure helps with pain management and promotes healing." "Pain management?" Vela's head tilted. A gesture he'd learned indicated deep curiosity among her species. "You possess technology that removes pain through touching?" "Not technology," Joran said, continuing his ministrations. "Just technique. Humans have been doing this for thousands of years. Before we had advanced medicine, we had to rely on understanding how the body, any body, responds to different types of contact." He moved to a clean section of the cloth and continued working. The wound was already beginning to close, the regenerative compounds doing their job. But he maintained the gentle, circular pressure. Vela's warriors had fully lowered their weapons now, watching with fascination as their formidable queen, who had never shown weakness, who had led their armadas through 3 stellar campaigns, practically melted under the simple ministrations of this small human. "Your species fascinates me, Joran of Terra," Vela said softly. "The Jathiri are warriors. We have conquered 17 systems. Our medicine is advanced beyond most species in this sector. Yet, we treat injury as a mechanical problem, repair the damage, and move forward. You humans." She paused, her respiratory slits fluttering. "You understand something we have forgotten. That healing is not merely physical." Joran applied a final layer of synthetic skin over the wound, his movements still gentle and deliberate. "My grandmother used to say that medicine, without compassion, is just engineering. The body heals better when the mind is at peace." "Wisdom," Vela pronounced, finally releasing his wrist. She flexed her shoulder experimentally, the synthetic skin blending perfectly with her natural chitin. "The wound is closed. Yet, I feel." better than merely repaired. She stood, her full height making Joran crane his neck to maintain eye contact. The queen regarded him with all 6 eyes for a long moment, then did something that made her guards gasp audibly. She bowed, not the slight nod of acknowledgement that royalty might give a servant, but a deep, respectful bow that lowered her crowned head below Joran's eye level. "Joran of Terra," she said, rising. "I came to these negotiations, skeptical that humans deserved a seat at the Galactic Council. You are small, your lifespan's brief, your empire young, but I see now what makes your species dangerous and valuable." "Your Majesty?" Joran asked, uncertain whether he'd just been complimented or threatened. A smile crossed Vela's face, or what passed for a smile among the Jathiri. A slight parting of the mandibles. "You are dangerous, because you weaponize kindness. You make allies not through strength or fear, but through understanding, through gentleness." She spoke the last word, as if it were foreign to her tongue. "The Jathiri Empire will vote in favor of Terra's admission to the Council." She turned to leave, her warriors falling into formation, but paused at the doorway. "And Joran? When the treaty is signed tomorrow, I request that you attend. I suspect I will need someone who understands therapeutic touch." These diplomatic ceremonies are terribly stressful on the shoulders. As the queen departed, Joran stood alone in the medical bay, staring at his hands, the same hands that had seen countless battles, that had sewn wounds in trenches and field hospitals across a dozen worlds. Humanity's greatest weapon, he realized, had never been their technology or their stubbornness. It was their simple, ancient understanding that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe was a gentle touch and genuine care. The galaxy was about to learn what humans had always known: that kindness, properly applied, could conquer more than any army.